All right, guys, on our last video, we showed y'all where we had built our entrance back up this way, and we'd built our driveway in here, and we had built a gravel pad out this way. And now you're gonna have to jump forward in time a few months because we've been working back here as well. And now, before I show you all this, I want y'all to understand that there's a mess back here, and we're gonna show you everything. There's a mess back here, and it says so far we just really don't have a place to put everything that we need. We don't have a shed. We don't have any kind of storage space. We're working on all that, but as we go around, I'm going to give you a little tour on what we've done so far. Now, we've come down the driveway here, and this is the road up here behind us. Our entrance is back up that way, and as we just come around this way, I want you to just follow me with the camera and just show you that this is the space that we have to work with right now. We've got a little trailer parked right here that we've been using that's been of great help. And right over here, we've built us our first hoop house or shade house or whatever. Y'all know how much I like shade. And if you don't know how much I like shade, well, I like it a lot. And we built this. This is 20 feet by 40 feet. We built the whole thing ourselves, and we're going to build another one right here where I'm standing that's going to go back this direction. So you'd have this big door here and then a door here facing this way. And then we're going to build more going out this way as money and time allow us to do so. So I want to come in here and show you what we've actually done inside here and kind of what this process has been, so you got a pretty good idea of what we're doing. So here we're coming into the shade house, and if you're familiar with our videos, then you're probably seeing a lot of plants right now that are very familiar to you. For example, these are Earth Angel. Is that what they are? No, I'm sorry. These are stained glass hostas over here. Of course, they're dormant. They look terrible, but they're hostas. There's more hostas over there. There's more hostas right there in the middle. Green giants. There are Firewitch dianthus, emerald green arborvitas, Rheingold arborvitas, more green giants, blue rug junipers over there. And we've brought all of our plants down here into our new nursery, and this is just the very, very, very beginning of what we're going to have. But like anything, you got to start somewhere, and this is where we are started. And I hope to show you in a video in the next few weeks building a new hoop house out here and new hoop houses and all sorts of things where we're going to be developing this place. But for now, here's where we are. Let me show you a few more things. So this shade house was completely instrumental in all of these plants in here surviving through a terrible, terrible summer, brutally hot this summer in particular. And we put irrigation in here, and it's on a timer, and I'll show you all of that later, but I never have tried to do this before, and 100% of everything in here would have died this summer because we were letting it run on irrigation alone on a timer for a week at a time without us even seeing it, in days when we had heat index 110, 115 degrees. So
no rain.
Yeah, and I mean, no rain for
months. Well, no, that's a little dramatic.
5, 6, 7 weeks where we had no rain during all that.
Over
so
a month.
We wound up just kind of piling everything in here. I mean, you can see trays and small pots everywhere, and we have a potting bench right here that we built, and it's nice and tall. This is not for short people. Like, short people have to stand on a bench, so my kids, my wife, when they're potting, we have to put them up on something, but this is built for me. So anyway, you can customize everything to fit yours, whatever you need, but we've got just pots, and there's just stuff everywhere until we can get some more space built to spread out and to straighten up and to neaten up things. This is kind of what our setup looks like, at least here in this shade house.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good shade house.
It's a good shade house. So coming out of our shade house, like, we have put in all of this irrigation. And again, I don't know how to do any of this, but we have a 1.5 inch irrigation line, which is a big water line. I mean, it's a huge volume of water. And we brought it from the road down here to this box into the shade house, and it extends that way, and we can take it pretty much anywhere we want to go. But we put a frost-free or frost-proof hydrant, freeze-proof hydrant in here so we can use it all year, so we can hand water as we need to. Another shade thing that we built here, you're likely familiar with this look, straight out of our backyard. We just disassembled everything, reassembled it here, and now it's 3 times bigger than it ever was. And these are plants that we bought in last spring, and we kept them at our house as long as we could, and we wound up bringing them down here, and we just filled all of this in. If you'll come on over this way with the camera a little bit. So we putting these plants out here. We put this little 24-inch or 30-inch or whatever it is, little piece of wire up here just to keep rabbits out of this, because this field has a lot of rabbits in it and they love to munch on plants. And so that was something that we did earlier in the season. But anyway, you're kind of getting a look here at what we've been able to do so far. You know, out here we've got green giants growing in this bed. There are more things out here that I'll show you later. We've got some hydrangeas under this little low tunnel out here that we've done. And you know, if you swing the camera around this way, this is just all of the plants that we had at home. I mean, I don't know how many plants there are here, in small pots, big pots, all sorts of plants out here that we've got to deal with. Like, none of this is going to be ready to sell this spring straight out of these containers as they are. Maybe a few things, the blackberries down there will be, and maybe a few others, but most of these are going to have to be divided, potted up, dealt with, in other words. But you can see some of it's coming together and some of it's really more of a helter-skelter kind of mess. But we're on our way. We've got thousands of plants ordered to come in this spring that will need to be potted, that will need to be unboxed, and we're working and working and working towards getting all of that done. But it's just one day at a time, and I can already feel that eventually we're going to be racing the clock, and we're going to be racing against the springtime warm-up to get all of this done in time to start having sales in the spring, because you never know when spring's going to come early. And if spring comes early, you know, mid-March or something, we've got to be ready to go. So that's just some of what we're working on, and we wanted to kind of show y'all. This is in some ways kind of our unveiling of the actual nursery part of all of this, but kind of wanted to bring you along and show you what we've done so far. So then we've made kind of a circle around our first shade house here, and just to kind of show you what our plans are. And again, this is as time and money allows us to do this. We're paying for cash for everything as we go, so you know, we're kind of trying to be careful with using our money, but yet trying to deploy it and use it as effectively as possible. So one of the things we're going to have to do is expand our gravel area. So come out this way. This is back to our driveway here where we showed you when we began this video and on the last one, and going straight back across this grassy area out here, this kind of a sage grass. Somebody said this is called poverty grass. This ground out here is terrible. Nothing grows out here at all if it's any good, unless you like briars and things that goats would like to eat. But we're going to gravel. I'm at the edge of the gravel, and we're going to gravel this all the way over to that dirt bank over there, and that's probably another 120 feet by about 100 feet. So say 120 by 100, about 12,000 square feet here that we still have to gravel in, that we're going to use for more shade houses, more parking, more shaded areas, more places on the ground to just put thousands and thousands of plants for our customers to come and buy on our nursery sale day. So that's kind of the direction that our nursery's headed, so we wanted to show you that as well. And then we've been unboxing all of these pots. Now, this is, I never dealt with pots anywhere near this scale. I mean, we've got little piles of pots laying over there and more laying over there. I've bought, you know, a couple of thousand of pots at a time, but I've never had anywhere near this many. And I made a post about these over on my YouTube community page, so click that tab, and a little contest is underway on these to see how many pots do you think this is. Go enter your guess and win a couple of free blue mouse ear hostas if you happen to be the one who is correct. Another thing over here that's just worth showing is some of my hardwood bark mulch that I use as part of my potting soil. It's got those long cuttings. You might remember those from a couple of videos ago. Those long cuttings from our dappled willows and from our limelight hydrangeas. We just got them healed in there. In other words, a temporary holding place. And, you know, lawnmower, tiller, wheelbarrow. Look, we just got stuff everywhere. So we're getting organized. We're getting things together. We're getting ready for the spring. And we're trying to get all of this rolling. So this is kind of an update on where we are. The last thing I wanted to mention on today's video and kind of unveiling some of this to you guys is we've been asked the question, I think it's a good question, is why did you guys buy a piece of raw land with no water, no electric, no nothing out here on it, as opposed to just buying a house on 3 acres or 5 acres or 10 acres and going with something that was already developed? And on our next video, my wife and I are going to kind of sit down and talk about the finances behind that, like real actual numbers, and kind of help you understand how we arrived where we arrived and some of the thought process that's behind that. And we think it'll help you understand why we did what we did, or at least why we did it the way that we did it. So I hope that's helpful. Well, look, guys, thank y'all for watching today. I look forward to seeing y'all on the next one. I love y'all, and I'll see you then.